question I've been wondering about aversion. Like that's something that's really been a topic in my recent practice,
Yeah.
and and it, I like to do a lot of surrender practices and like watch uncompromising non-duality videos, and it really calms me down. I
Yeah.
don't know, I just like to do it. And what I noticed is that um, so when like an aversion is coming up, I like to relax it, the
Mm.
aversion. Um, like I'm trying to maintain some sort of flow.
Mm.
But at the same time, I'm wondering, like I've always done that, but since very recently, there's like, I'm wondering if there's maybe, how do I say that? If I can make more of an effort to explore the aversions
Mm.
themselves. So, for example, I've like shame on the left side of my head,
Mm.
and when it's coming up, it's kind of like it's get blocked really fast and by itself. And I
Mm.
always try to let it happen as smooth as possible, if that makes
Mm.
sense. So not interfering by letting it happen. But I wonder, um, yeah, and I can kind of stay in this relaxed place. But I already kind of asked this question. I think I'm repeating myself now. But I wonder, yeah, should I explore the aversions more, like breathe into them and yeah,
Mm.
like try to dissolve them, or yeah.
Mm. So I'm going to give you two answers. I'm going
Okay.
to give you, which might seem opposing.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll start off with the non-dual answer.
Yeah.
So, so from the perspective of non-duality, like who needs or who would explore it right here, right now?
Yeah.
So is there shame appearing?
Where or is?
Is there now shame appearing? Like, do you have tension?
Um, no, but I can. I mean, it's always kind of there. It's kind of like feels like an energetic block, I would
Yeah,
say. And but
yeah,
when it gets triggered, it gets like more in the foreground. But I
yeah.
can feel the block a little bit there. Yeah.
Mm. So, so there is this experiencing,
Mm.
this which isn't separate from anything. So the experiencing is in my voice now. It's in the computer. It's in the room. It's in all things. And in that experiencing, so that's who you are. That's what you are. And that is free, always free, no matter what. The experiencing, which isn't separate, so it's not an experiencing of something, it's not an experiencer experiencing something. It's one and the same thing. The experiencing and the experience are the same, so the subject and the object are the same.
Mm.
So, in that, it's always free. There's never someone that suffered anything. It's infinite, but even beyond infinite. Like infinite is still an imagination. It's no thing and all things. And this is maybe why you like watching uncompromising non-duality videos, because it's reminding you of that freedom in everything, in
Mm.
this, of what you truly are. And what happens during the day is that it seemingly appears that that experiencing becomes narrow and becomes contained inside a person. So it's like the person is conscious. And then the person is always looking for what it should or should not do to get home.
Yeah.
It doesn't know that it's doing that, but it's like, how do I get home?
Oh, I know that I'm doing it. It's really obvious. It's so annoying. Oh, I can't think that, or oh, I shouldn't think that, or
Yeah,
that there's a reaction on that. And oh my God,
yeah,
it's so bad.
yeah. It's always up to that game.
Yeah.
How do I get home? And it's like but it's like a in the DNA, it seems, of all humans. It gets switched on at maybe 2 or 3 years old. How do I get home?
Yeah.
And what you're looking for is this deep rest of everything.
Yeah.
Because who you are is deep, deep rest. It doesn't want anything. It's not surrendering or not surrendering. It's not holding this or not holding this. It's simply here. And you could call that unconditioned love. And inside of that, there is a body that arises. And the body, because it's had years and years of training that it is a doer, it has these thoughts and feelings of doership. So one of the thoughts and feelings of doership is shame. And it's not necessarily that the feeling of shame is suffering, but the attachment to it is. And that's hard to,
Yeah.
the attachment, and then, like you say, the wanting to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because if you've got these bodies that have had many years of training of being shamed or something by parents, then it's natural that the body will automatically respond with that. But it's when it's taken to be you rather than simply an energy that is appearing and disappearing.
Yeah.
It is coming up and disappearing. And the
It
person,
feels.
yeah, sorry, yeah, carry on.
Yeah. It feels when a shame comes up, and it automatically gets blocked. Or there's an aversion. I don't know. It feels like a block on our aversion, and so it comes up and almost gets like instantly pushed back by this feeling, and it feels like I should do something about that for to heal or to canalize it or
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Yeah, so that's the thinking that comes up, and then there might be the zooming into this idea, I should do something about this. There's nothing wrong with the thought of that. That's a thought that comes and goes. But then there's like a narrowing in and a belief that that is the experiencer. Like you are responsible for your life and that you are experiencing.
yeah.
Not all the time, but it kind of does this. And this is then the compression, the separation that's felt, and that's where the discomfort actually is. It's not in the feeling, so it's not actually in the initial response of shame.
Yeah.
It's in the person that condenses itself. And this isn't something that you can undo, that separation. It's something that will get undone. Like you can try as much as you like to undo it, but you are it.
Yeah. That's the annoying part as well.
It's annoying, but it's also like when this is really recognized, like
Yeah.
your true nature is so close to yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's like who you are is right here. It's always been here in all things.
It's yeah, oh, it's yeah.
And then I can come to the other answer, and there can be working on shame. Like shame is a very triggering emotion. You have to be a bit careful with it because it can really trigger you into trauma, shame.
Yeah.
And there's many different practices that you can do to work on it. There is a book on my website about shame, which you could look into.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different practices to deal with it.
And
And loosening it can come from understanding it in the timeline, in the story, where it originated, what triggers it. It's a very uncomfortable feeling often. It's like you are bad, you are shameful.
yeah.
It's often used a lot in society and politics in order to control
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And in family structures.
Yeah.
It's a great way to control people. So it's also,
I
you could say it is like a collective thing that we do to
yeah.
each other. Like, I mean, if you look at the media is so much about shaming people.
Yeah.
But yeah, healing it and cleaning that up will most likely reduce the seeking in that area, so it will make you a more happy and balanced person. But that's not actually what you really want. What you really want is this moment. Like, so, and when you feel like the person, and when you feel like it's coming, there's nothing wrong with seeking to make that better. In a way, it reduces the seeking and will make you more happy and more balanced and getting on with people, a better life.
Yeah.
And that's great news, and that's something beautiful to do. But what you really want is this moment, which is timeless.
I guess so. So I guess what I like to do is like I like to when that mechanism comes up, like the shame comes up and the blocking comes up, I like to let that happen. And that feels
Mm.
really good. And that's been like a big part of my
Mm.
practice. And that's what I'm doing with all my life actually. And that's like feels really good. But now I have this um it also feels really natural, like really like it feels like this is a good way for a good thing to do for my energy body. And at the same time, um, um, yeah, I wonder if I, like you said, to work on shame. And for me, I don't know if there are two things. I'm just trying to clarify it for myself. So, um, is working on shame different than working on on the blocking of shame? Because I have this like belief that if the shame can like flow through, it will get out of my system.
I would assume that a lot of it is about the blocking of shame.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that will be connected to the apparent timeline and story of you.
yeah,
But just in the conversation and interaction that we're having, just a reminder that the you that feels like it's your job to free yourself
yeah,
isn't the truth.
yeah,
So, like, what the person gets addicted with and loves is knowing what it should do.
yeah. I just want to like my whole 5 years of like intense mental health problems and like seeking non-duality has been a lot of about like looking for someone of trying to find someone who can actually tell me what to do.
Yeah, this is what humans are addicted to because we're so scared of choice, and because we live in these societies where for many centuries we've had these leaders,
Yeah,
we haven't had much choice, and then the last 100 years we're getting more and more choice. It kind of makes us more and more insane having all this choice because
yeah,
the belief is that if you choose correctly you will be free.
yeah, yeah,
And it's not, I'm not saying in any way don't work on the mental health and don't work on the
yeah.
therapy and don't work on the person. I think that's beautiful.
Mm.
And I think that will give you a richer life if you do it because your external is going to be based on the internal. So the way in which the person thinks and feels, it will then manifest that in the external. So if you've got a lot of shame, then you might hide away and become very reclusive, for example. That's just one thing. So working on and not like live up to your full potential. So working on these things is great on the human level. But from the non-duality perspective, like there's something right now which is free. Like, what is it right now that's free? And the person comes up and wants to know the way and wants to know how to do it, and should I do this or should I do that? And they want someone to guide them, and I don't know the way for anybody.
No.
Like I mean, if I was gonna if I was gonna say something, I would say, you know, pick a therapy, keep practicing it. You know, like pick a particular therapy path, and then just keep practicing that. You know, one that's quite successful and popular. And then at the same time, listening to non-duality, and then also being holistic. You know, eating well, looking after the body, all these types of things. But I don't know the way for any individual. I don't know what will lead to what. But what I do know is that what's truly looked for is this moment. Is what you are right here, right now. This is the freedom. But this won't fix your life. That's what often we like to believe. This won't fix your life, but this is what you look for. You're looking for.
Nonduality won't fix your life, and your life won't give you what you see, what you're looking for.
Yeah, I said it might be contradictory.
Oh, they fill each other up in a bit, like if you think, yeah. Okay. I'm actually also, even though like I was looking all those years, because my problems were so intense and I felt like there had to be somebody who could help me. And actually, by not finding anyone, like now I love that people say like you, or that they don't really give me like, oh, you should this or this or this. And I really like that. And I also like it to not, to like that there is, that my body it likes that there is not like a definitive answer. And that's,
and also finding its own way, like on the human character level, it's most probably really beautiful to begin to have confidence in finding your own way rather than letting somebody dictate that way to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, thanks Hans for calling.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, nice.
All right. Have a nice stream.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, goodbye.
Bye. That almost sounded like he said, have a nice dream. But I think it was stream.